Since we met you people 500 years ago, look at us. We've given everything. You are still taking. It's true. I mean, where will the whole Western world be without Africa? Our cocoa, our timber, our gold, our diamonds, our platinum, our whatever. In return for all of this, what have we got? Nothing. Anti-personnel indoctrination against ourselves. If you go and cook your horrible diseases like AIDS, you say it is us. You brought us tuberculosis. We didn't have this big cough until white people came here. 500 solid years of our people, of our human beings, to work your canes, to dig your gold, to take in gold itself. Diamond, I mean, you know, fish, peanuts, palm oil, everything. In exchange for that, we have got nothing. And you know it. Nothing. And you look upon, you know, white folks look upon us like monkeys.
Living overseas, all I see about Africa is starving babies, villages without clean water, war, famine, dead bodies, vultures picking at the carcasses of babies and children. That looks nothing like the Africa, specifically the country Nigeria that I grew up in. Last week, I had a plumber come in and we struck up a conversation. And he asked me, what village in Nigeria did you grow up in? I don't think the question was condescending. This is because I know him, but I gave him a brief education on what growing up in Nigeria and Africa really looks like. Now, based on the conversations I've had over here in the UK, with a mix of people, I feel there's a need to really expose who Africans are and where we come from. You see, I can't blame Europeans for thinking that all Africans come from villages with free-range lions and zebras walking around. I can't blame them for thinking that we all talk in cliques and that's how we say hello. This is all you see about Africa over here in Europe. This is all you see on your TVs. So how can I blame you? This is all the world wants you to see. Allow me to break it down. Throughout history, from Herodotus to modern contemporary writers, there has been this deliberate, antagonistic effort to undermine Africa in comparison to the rest of the world, especially Europe, completely overlooking our accomplishments and contributions, and only highlighting our tragedies and flaws. Reports from explorers like David Livingstone fueled the narrative that we are backward, warmongering, cannibals, and savages who needed rescuing from our dark desires. In his write-up called Christianity, Civilization and Commerce, he expounded theories of social Darwinism that fueled the imperialists to go out and go on and exploit Africa. Historically, the scramble for Africa happened between the period of 1881 and 1914. This is a period where European countries occupied Africa and attempted to colonize it. 1873 marked the start of the Long Depression in Europe and North America, and it was overseas trade and exploitation of land, labor, people and minerals that kept the British and many European economies afloat. Diamonds, gold, cocoa, petroleum, precious stones and gems, palm oil, cobalt, groundnuts, sugar, crude oil, uranium, silver, and many more minerals and resources that I can't pronounce or spell were carted away to Europe. Right now, as Europe and the US engage in wars and proxy wars all over the world, they rely heavily on exports from Africa. Even the stuff your iPhone is made of comes from Africa. So it makes you question, where does this narrative come from that Africa is poor and we need your help, we're on our knees, we need your help to have clean water? How can we survive? How have we made it this far? How do we have airports? People need to think. Based on all we've given to the world and all that's been taken from us, I ask you this question. Do you think this negative image of Africa is deliberate or is it just an oversight? I come from Lagos, the center of excellence. I love my city. There's no party like a Lagos party. Shout out to Binsky W. Lagos is one of the biggest villages in Nigeria. Let me start. Lagos is a city in Nigeria, and Nigeria is a country in the continent of Africa. Nigeria is often referred to as the giant of Africa, mostly due to the size of its population. Nigeria is the home of Nollywood, one of the biggest film industries in the world, and legends like the late Fela and Kuti, one of the greatest musicians to ever live.
Everybody say yeah.
For Eagles, Nigeria is home to the richest man in Africa, Aliko Dangote. The heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua, the UFC middleweight and welterweight champions of the world, Israel Adesanya and Kamaru Usman, all hail from Nigeria. Nigeria is also home to Wizkid, Burna Boy, and Davido, R&B singer Seal, the lead singer of Lighthouse Family, mad people in Hollywood, Wale, Tayo Cruz. Africa is a great continent, and Nigeria is one of the jewels that adorns her neck. But there's so many great things about our other countries. Shout out to Ghana, Ivory Coast, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Uganda, Senegal. Remain standing, represent. Drop a flag in the comments, rep your country. Right now, Africa is a land flowing with the proverbial milk and honey. But our greatest resource is our people. Too long, we've watched our leaders mortgage our futures and our children's futures. But we are powerful, more powerful than we could ever imagine. The sleeping giant will rise again, but it will take your help.